All right, Mr. Nelson. Ty.
Mr. Nelson. So
How you
formal.
doing? I know, yeah. Thanks for joining me again on another one.
Always.
Dude,
Love
yes,
jumping on here.
I know. Yeah. It's another night dive here with Jetthro. Ty joins me again. How you doing, Ty?
Great.
Good.
Great. Just cruising through another week, man.
Okay. I've seen.
Hey, win the day.
see.
You win enough days. You win the week. You win enough weeks. Just keeps going, right? You win the month. Win enough months.
When did Kobe get in the house? No, who said something like that? Who said something like you win the day, you win the day, then you'll literally what you just what you just said.
And then you win enough months, you win the year, you win enough years. You're going to have a hell of a life.
Kind of win life, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen
I
it
love
floating
that.
around on social media here and there. I wish I knew who claims it, but
Yeah, maybe it's the collective like human experience. Like humans in general since like the beginning of time have put that idea forth. And you and we are standing on the shoulders of giants just thinking about that kind of concept.
love it.
Maybe? Okay.
Giants.
Not the football team. No, we're talking about not the football team. Yeah, man.
How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I got a cough, obviously, still. Just lingering. It's
Ooh, coughs linger.
yeah, it's tough. I did go to a strength and conditioning class this morning, and
Nice.
I did some deadlifts. I've never really done deadlifts or anything like that before. I did some other like lower back like workouts and stuff like that the trainer had kind of previously like he had planned. And man, my hips feel great. I've just never like really done anything laterally for my hips. And he really like it was just me there. There was me and one other guy. And so he was like, let's dissect what you're doing, bro. What are you doing? I was like, I'm trying to run a marathon and then maybe some ultra marathons. And he was like, let's go. And I was like, yeah. This is what I'm paying for. This is what I'm paying for. Yeah, so.
Yeah, you need those people in your corner.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there that want to shut you down, that want to, oh, you can't do that. What are you thinking? But when you find those people that are in your corner, man, it's powerful.
Yes. That is true. Yeah, so it feels good. I feel great. Yeah. Let's if it's all right, let's I know you have seen a couple of these or probably most of them, but I know let's do some gratitude real quick. If that's all right. Oh, did you freeze? Did I lose you? Oh, I did. That's our first one. Hey, we always have these happen. At least once, usually twice. Most of the live streams we've been able to get away with, but let's see if we can do this here. Let's see if he jumps back in. That's part of being on just where we're at in life, I guess. That's part of it. I'm going to wait for Ty to jump back in. Oh, there he is. Tyler.
Oh, chalk it up, baby.
There's number one.
Chalk
man.
it up.
There's number one. We're going to have at least another one. I was kind of just saying like it's been kind of a miracle that I've had so many conversations with other people, and this was the first one during a live stream, an actual live stream where a technical thing has happened like that.
Yeah, has it happened to us live before?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
either.
This is the first one.
Because it usually happens, like generally speaking, just when we get together like this.
Yeah. So
Well, I'm sure you handled it like a champ. I don't know what you said, but I trust you.
I did. I absolutely did. I nailed it because I am dope as shit, Ty.
Hell yeah. Amen.
That is the mental framework that I'm shifting into. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, let's jump into some gratitude, if you want, if you're kind of feeling that, and then we can kind of dive into. We can do a quick mantra. It doesn't have to be anything intense, but then we can kind of. I want to kind of explore where you've been feeling and where you're at the past couple days, and just kind of dissect where that is. So, I haven't really. God, see, this is. I love this because I don't think about gratitude at all during the day. I really don't. And then I get to this point and I'm like, shit, what am I grateful for? And it's a different form of accountability in a sense. I guess, I don't know.
Well, as you're thinking, I want to let you know I love listening to your gratitude. It gets me in the mindset because I definitely am not always there as often as I should be. And so I've enjoyed your night dives when you go through it, the different concepts you've brought up, even from modern medicine to your relationship with your wife and daughter.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed listening to them.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Okay, so thank you for bringing that up because that actually just sparked something for me. I don't know how cliche or like how cringy this sounds. I don't care. Like I was born into this. This is the hand I was dealt, and I am able to sit here in front of a mic. I can work and afford a microphone and afford a camera, and we have YouTube here to just be able to literally figure out some buttons and just be able to do this for ourselves. We're able to just like live stream or just make videos and just things and document things for ourselves. And that is pretty, like, not everybody has that chance. Not everybody does, realistically. Like, it's pretty, man, it's kind of cool. It really is kind of cool. And for me to do this and then for you to just say, like, it's been cool to see what you're doing and see your gratitude, that kind of sparked that for me. It was like, it's kind of you live across the United States. You know what I mean?
Wild.
Like, you're able to see what I'm doing and I'm able to see what you're doing, and we're not even remotely close to each other. So
it's true. Yeah, the time and place that we were born into.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. That feels good for me. We're you have anything? Where are you at?
Yeah.
What's
I have a good friend that has been that has a dog that's
Mm-hmm.
been going through some health concerns, kind of scary, and it's definitely after hearing that, I went home, and hugged Coda, just a little tighter. And then today, being my midweek trail run, I go into work late on Thursdays, and so I wanted to get my trail run in, but I decided this morning I was going to do a few miles with Coda first, just because I know how happy it makes him. We come home and he's just all smiles for all day, and so I did a good 4 miles with him before I went out and did the rest on trail.
Gotcha.
So,
I
grateful
apologize.
for that.
I had to kind of shift some things. Did I lose you again? Oh no. Okay, there's number 2. This should be the last one. This will be the last one for sure. Let's see. I was gonna apologize to him because I had to shift out of that to get my music going again because it was too quiet for me. Don't like how quiet some of that is. Okay, well this one's a technical difficulty one, which is fine. All right, brother. That's part 2. Okay.
Oh, wait. What? You wanted to be grateful for technology? Let me show you something.
Touche.
I love it.
Touche. All right. Okay. That is the second one though. That one's done.
I love
We're it's clear sailing now though. It's clear sailing.
We're in the clear.
Okay, just really quickly for me because I don't want to explain it. Just say that again. Just say that real quickly again. So you're grateful.
The gratitude post.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a close friend that has a dog right now that's going through some health concerns. I believe it's bone cancer. They're concerned on how fast it's spread, and so definitely went home yesterday and hugged Coda a little tighter.
Yeah.
And then this morning I have my trail run for my midweek run. I was gonna do 12 miles out on the trail, but I decided to take him out this morning, so we did 4 miles together, and then I finished out on the trails.
Because it
makes him so
happier.
happy, man.
Yeah.
We come in, and he's just all smiles the rest of the morning, the rest of the day.
That's good. Okay. Cool, man. Okay.
So grateful for that, buddy. I love him. I loved having him for my easy runs, help keep me in check. Sometimes I feel good, and I just want to get carried away, but he keeps me at a good pace, and we enjoy our time together.
Cool. Yeah, I do love how much you run with Coda. It makes me want to run with my dogs, but it's hard to separate them. So like even taking one out, the other one will freak out. So it's I've made that bed, so that is what it is. But that's good for you, man. That's good for you. Okay. Let's quickly. I'll just do it real fast. Like, I know how difficult, and I hope that it like transcends to other people too somehow, or I hope it resonates with other people. Like doing anything is really difficult. I've always had this idea that like people that were operating at a high level, like Tom Brady or like Kobe or anything. I've always had this idea that like, if you enjoy what you do, you're never going to work a day in your life type concept, right? But like even in that regard, like Kobe, right? If you work like if he was thinking about like I'm not working at all, I'm just playing basketball, he still found playing and practicing and like doing things difficult, right? And so like it doesn't matter whatever you're doing, like it just sucks. Some of it just sucks. Like some days just absolutely suck. Like absolutely. And most of the journey itself is just pretty awful anyway. And that's the whole point of the journey, like enjoying the journey and enjoying the process is what I'm coming to find is the best part. So
well, dude, I think that feeds right into why I do some of the videos that I do, because when I think about having a child down the road, and when they hear about like what dad did, for them to be able to go back and to see like some documentation, like the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, and the ugly, like what did he go through to achieve this thing we heard about, this grand thing that he achieved, So I'm super excited to have started documenting the process.
Well, okay, perfect. Let's keep talking through some of that for you, because I watched that other video that you titled, "Why Do I Even Do This?" which is what a title.
And I'm grateful for the opportunity to jump on today and talk through it more. I've processed a lot of this. I'm working through it. I think I'm ready to kind of not necessarily close a door, but ready to open another one and ready just to move forward and not question so much. And so I'm excited to talk about this and kind of have some more finality and conclusion to it. So it's been tough.
So walk me through some of your initial feelings then, and let's.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like that outside perspective and letting what other people may say, and maybe not even what people say, but maybe what I assume people are thinking or saying. About how I'm being perceived when I put these videos out, right?
So like what feelings or what are you projecting out into there?
I've had a few comments from people of like, and they're probably being genuine and just like letting me know that I've seen the stuff you're doing, but the way it's phrased is oftentimes like, oh yeah, I see you're, trying to be this influencer. And when I hear that, I cringe to the it just strikes a nerve for some reason.
I know.
And I know that's some growth that I need to have on my part,
Mm-hmm.
not to let that affect me as greatly as it has. And so that's something I just need to work on in general.
Yeah.
But I think I hear that and it's like that's not what I set out to do. Like that's not why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And so is that how you're perceiving it? You just think I want to be like this YouTube influencer, where in reality at the core, like I do this for me, like it's in the most selfish way possible. I do this for me.
Yeah. Well, and I think the word influencer is a lot like how the word salesman has come about. Like people have been hammered by salesmen and pushy, over the top sales guys who just won't leave you alone, who just just badger you and just will not leave until you say, fine, yeah, here's my money, go away. And I think the word influencer is almost like a modern day version of that, because it's a similar thing. It's been overused in a lot of different ways. A lot of people are trying to be influencers for unselfish for selfish reasons.
Sure. Yeah.
And it comes across as cringy, and it comes across I don't think that's a word. Disingenuous. I've said it a couple times.
Yeah.
I don't know if it doesn't matter, but I think that a lot of people are doing that, and that's where your cringe may come from. Mm-hmm. That's where you're, because I felt it too. I've felt that too. Like my wife has said a couple times, like, so are you trying to be an influencer? And I'm always like, no. And I'm like, why am I so defensive about that? But I think that's kind of why.
Yeah. And I think there's things that I've done in my videos that definitely lead for someone to maybe perceive that, sure. asking the audience to like or subscribe, follow along.
Sure.
And I say that I do these videos for me, but at the same time, and this is something I left out on that video yesterday, is I really do hope that there's someone out there that will benefit. I do a lot of research via YouTube videos of how people are training, and I'm trying to learn from them. And so I do, even though I do it for me, for my own accountability, for my own documentation reasons, I do hope that someone along the way can benefit from it. And so I think when I was getting into that habit of asking people to like and subscribe, trying to, win the YouTube algorithms, the thought was like, well, yeah, I have to try to get this video out to more people so that hopefully it can find someone that will benefit from it. And so for my most recent videos, I've kind of cut that out, and it's something I'm still debating between, do I want to say that or should I not say those kind of things so that it can feel more genuine that it is for me and I'm not trying to just get likes and views. So something I'm still battling with.
Yeah. Well, it's been something like that for me too, but I've never really had the sense of hey, go follow for me, and for you too, really, but it's never really been hey, go like my shit, go follow what I'm doing, go do this, go do that, because it's more yeah, I mean you're touching on it too, but yeah, for me, for sure, I get the same kind of thing. It's I'm trying to do this, same thing, man. We're in the same boat. Definitely. I'm trying to do this in the sense of I get to live this experience and no one else does. I get to have, and I get to choose what I do with it, and I get to document it in any way that I want. I get to express it in any way that I want, and it doesn't, I don't know, I don't have to have people following me. Like, it's cool. It is cool that people are watching my videos. It's cool that like it's happening. But yeah, it's, it's more of a sense of like, I'm doing this so that I can look back and say, man, I didn't run at all. I didn't run. You couldn't pay me to run a mile. You couldn't. And now I'm doing like, I mean, there was a point where I was doing a 5K a day, essentially.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Love it.
Yeah, and I get to see, like, I get to look back and I get to see, like, yeah, I was doing that, and here it is. Like, here it is. And there's, like, a sense of pride in that for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, I don't know if that resonates with you or not.
Absolutely. The sense of pride, I think, comes to me because of how much growth I've seen in myself.
Yeah.
And not even growth within, like, what the videos look like or what I talk about, but growth in some flaws that I had, especially when it's like paralysis by analysis kind of concept. For the longest time, I've had YouTube channels for a while, and I would want to put videos out, but I would spin my wheels for weeks on end trying to get something to be perfect. And I was just actually, before we jumped on, heard someone say something about done is better than perfect, because if you want perfect, it'll never get done. And I was like, dude, what a play on words, but that's so true. Because I would spin my wheels trying to get something to be perfect. And now that I'm doing daily accountability videos, I got to get it out today, brother. Like, tomorrow's going to come, and I got to do another one tomorrow. So whether it's my training and just capturing it and getting comfortable, like vocalizing things and talking through for my own self, as well as music. I've touched on, I don't think I've ever really touched on it out loud to the audience, but starting to just kind of do background music tracks. I have my degree in music, and I've never felt like I really utilized it to the max.
I love it.
And so to start just doing that and to get into this habit of like, dude, it's a daily sketch. Like, do it, get it out, on to the next. And that has helped me grow so much. Yeah. In expressing myself and being artistic and just living and not overthinking things. Yeah.
Well, your videos have no copyright on them at all whatsoever. Everything is fully Ty Nelson.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's true. But, that is something that, dude, like, almost kind of going back to the gratitude thing, like, that's something that, like, not a lot of people can say. Really, not a lot of people can say that they, like, not only did a run, but they took footage of themselves doing it. They created a whole, like, thumbnail and went through and did the whole thing. They made the music for the background. Like, that's a lot of work. Just one of those videos. Not a lot of people. There's really not a lot of people who can say that they've done that. And
I appreciate you vocalizing that. That's cool.
Yeah, dude. It's because so I've gone through a lot of different phases of like just like beating myself up for things. Like, my mind is such a roller coaster, and I'm sure yours is too. I'm not trying to like discredit that, but like everything that like every day for me, it's like I just don't look at the positives that I've done. A lot of times I just don't. So like, I will do something or I'll get into a rut where I'm like, man, I haven't done anything with my life. Man, I'm 32 years old. I'm almost 33. What have I done with my life? I've done nothing. But I'm able to now, at least now, like, I have to like look back and say like, no, I owned Y Sound. Okay. That I did. Yes. Okay. And I did it for like 4 years. Okay. That is something that I can like, that's something worthy of something. Recently I've had to be like, no, I've, like I said earlier, like, you couldn't pay me to run a mile, and now I've run a couple of 10Ks. Just in distance, distance wise, like, I have to like look at that kind of stuff and be like, no, I've actually done. David Goggins, okay, I know, I know. For everybody listening, I know. But he calls that kind of thing the cookie jar. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah, love the cookie jar.
Yeah, so like I have to kind of like dive into that and be like, no, I've actually done some stuff, and that's kind of what that was. You know, on your end, like no, there's so many people who haven't made those kind of videos, or made a video in general. There's so many people who haven't done that in general. So
I love it, dude. I struggled for a long time too, specifically with my birthday, because I definitely every year my birthday came around and I just felt like, man, I'm not where I wanted to be, or I haven't.
Yeah.
What have I done? What have I done? And this last birthday was very different, especially being 2 days after I qualified for Boston.
Yeah.
And and so yeah, just being very, very different. And I'm gonna put it in like a very logical person. So putting it in math terms, anytime you're at a marathon, and you're gonna find this out at the start line, they will let you know that less than 1% of the world's population has ever run a marathon. And so to become part of the 1%, or let's go to Y Sound, it's got to be like 0.0001% of the population will ever like maybe own a business, let alone like a recording studio or an entrepreneurial like venture, like,
Sure,
you know,
sure.
but you're a part of that small percentage.
Sure.
Or to go back to Boston in the marathon, you know, less than 1% will run a marathon, but then less than 1% of people who ever run a marathon will do it under 3 hours. And so to go fraction into fraction, it's like, dude, I did it. And so, man, and I'll remember our conversation back in December. I kicked off my training for Ogden on January 2nd. We got together when you were here at Utah in December, and you had challenged me to document the process. And man, do I kick myself.
I do remember that.
I started like week 17, maybe 18. I was like, dude, I missed so much.
Yeah.
I just so wish I would have captured it. Because after I achieved the goal, it's like, man, did it. So I'm not going to let the next one slip away. So this time, ultra marathon, man, it's being documented. And then after that, when we train for Boston, I'll have that documented as well. I'm not going to let that slip away from me.
Nice. So what was so what for you was like, in fact, I mean, it probably was me, but like, what was really like the thing that was like, okay, I need to like start doing this. Like I need to start doing this for myself, because that for me probably was we probably don't like realize it, but it probably was a really big internal moment. Maybe.
Yeah. I think this might sound like a little silly. I remember having a few workouts, getting close to week 13, 14, 15 of my marathon prep, of my 20-week prep. I remember having some workouts that was like, dude, like I'm on pace. Like I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to do this.
Yeah.
And then I got to the point that I started thinking like a 250 was like actually possible, which I still think is very possible. I feel like I could go do that next weekend if I needed to. I think I really messed up on the Ogden. Still got it done, but there was so much left on the table. And so when I started having workouts that I was like, dude, I'm on track. Like I am actually going to hit my goal.
Yeah.
That's when I first started like thinking to myself, like, damn, I should have started documenting this. But really, I think a lot of it that got kicked off is I started thinking to myself, like, man, like I think I might be able to take this somewhere. And in the world of like potentially trying to get sponsors, I need to have some kind of following. I need to put myself out there. And so that was kind of the other thing that really like pushed it over the edge. It's like, dude, you could go do this all day, but if you're not putting yourself out there and people aren't seeing it, then like, yes, you're going to have that self-fulfillment. But if you wanted to try to take it into like another realm of potentially like career or financial freedom or whatever that looks like, sponsors, right?
Sure.
And so that was like one of the other big factors that like really pushed it over. But I think before I got into that headspace, I was in the headspace of like, dude, like I'm on track and I'm going to do this. And so I think maybe in the beginning phase of not starting to document it, there was probably a lot of fear, like fear of failure, right? Just like what if I start documenting this whole process and I get to the end and I fall short? Because I have so many times in life, because I lacked the discipline and I lacked the consistency. And so there was a lot of fear. And I think it finally took like being on track to have a little bit more of a confidence to finally flip that switch.
Wow.
And I wish that wasn't the case, but I think that is a big part of
That's
it.
okay. That's all right. Yeah, that's all right. Let me ask you about, so like the kind of like sponsorship type idea in combination with, because I had this idea. It seems like it's a double-edged sword almost, where you're like trying to like do this for yourself, but you're also trying to like get some sponsorships, get kind of a following. So like, where do you feel any tension internally in that? Do you feel any?
Yeah, this is good. This is good. I don't, and I think a big part of it has been that I have my own goals, and I love doing this for the daily accountability. And let me tell you exactly why.
Yeah.
Let's talk about diet. I recently have finally vocalized in one of my videos that I wanted to start tracking my macros, okay?
You're right. Uh-huh.
I've been thinking about this for months.
Tracking your macros?
Tracking my macros. I've been thinking to myself, like, dude, I'm eating clean. My wife and I eat really good. I'm probably not eating enough.
Uh-huh.
But I never did anything about that. Even though I thought to myself and knew that I wasn't eating enough, I didn't change anything.
Like,
And so being a logical person, I needed to see the numbers. But I kept just, again, I was spinning in my own wheels, right?
uh-huh.
But when I finally vocalized that on a video,
Oh.
the power of accountability, that day I started counting. that day I started counting. And it's like, dude, all I had to do was vocalize it and put it out to the world, and to put it out to someone who may actually like follow up with me and be like, hey, you said you were going to do this. Have you been doing it? Well, I sure as hell want to be able to say that, yes, I was.
Wow.
So that's why I'm so happy about these videos, is because I say I'm going to do something and I have so much more of a desire to follow up on it.
Interesting.
And again, maybe that's a crutch. Like maybe that's a crutch for me in life, and I should just be able to do that on my own. But I haven't been able to. And so it took this process of the daily accountability.
Yeah.
And so, dude, it blew me away. Like I just been thinking about it for so long, and I vocalized it on one video. And it honestly, it kind of like slipped out. Like I didn't plan on saying it. I didn't plan on actually pulling the trigger, but I like mentioned it in a video, and I was like, well, shit, I guess I should probably do that now. And sure enough, I've been doing it, and I feel like it's paying off tenfold, man.
Nice.
Gosh.
So it almost, it's in this example, yeah, it seems like it paid a lot of positives for you.
Yeah, so that's why I don't feel the tension, because if the sponsors never happen, I am gaining so much from this, so much growth, that I'm just happy I'm documenting the process. You know, one day I hope that to a potential sponsor, I can demonstrate with my track record, consistency, and discipline,
Sure.
not only in like my workouts and achieving things, but even on the side part of it, of documenting the process.
Nice. And even to your future self, or
yes,
any future children, family members, whatever, whoever wants to like see your journey as well.
absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
What about for you? I
lots
want to hear for you. What was it that helped you flip that switch?
To what? Do this? Like to do?
Yeah.
Video documentation for myself, like doing like live streams like this, or you know, like putting myself, like videoing myself and putting it out into the world, is not. It's tricky, because for the most part I don't care. For the most part, there's billions of minutes of video going out into the world at any given time that mine is just, it's just a drop in the bucket. It doesn't matter. And so there's that aspect of it, but at the same time, like if I'm talking about something that like really is like a deep part of myself or my brain, there is a little anxiety there. But more so than anything, it's been the running that was the hardest. That was harder than the documenting. Easily. is just like realizing where I was at and realizing like if I continue on this trajectory of just staying on the couch and if I continue on this trajectory of not doing anything, I'm going to be old and full of regret. And that like getting out of the door was harder than like doing all this documenting and stuff like that. And so that's kind of where that has been for me. I really like talking about myself. Like I kind of just do. And so this kind of thing is, I mean, that's just kind of who I am. I don't really care, honestly. Like this kind of thing I love doing, and like even just myself, like by myself, I love doing. But I really do also. I'm going to shift it back to you because I really am proud of where you've come to, because I know that like I know you've I don't know, like you've mentioned in earlier that you even kind of like struggled to like even just kind of document some of the stuff, and now you're here doing this on a live stream again to see some of the journey. It's, I don't know, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I'm super proud of it. The sense of pride is something I haven't really felt in my life before.
So I do want to like talk about a little bit about the pride part. Because I mentioned this with Taylor in one of my other streams, and Taylor and I were kind of talking about it. We were talking about how he just like works out with no, like he just works out. He doesn't have any external motivation. He just like, he doesn't have like a competition he's training for. He doesn't have like, anything he's working for. He just like works out, right? And I've been feeling this for myself, really, as time goes on. It's a practice, it's a progress, but I just like, I almost don't necessarily feel like I need the marathon to be running. It's nice that it's there, but I genuinely I don't feel like I need it. It's just an internal, like, I see what it does for me, and I see like my progress, and I see like where I'm kind of going, and see how far I've come already, and like where I'm going to be going. And again, David Goggins. Okay, fine, right? Okay.
Love it.
I'm easily becoming a disciple of his. I've just watched a lot of his stuff, and like it's.
Can we get a name tag? If you're a disciple
Elder.
or something, you just,
Yes, fuck it, dude. Yeah, please. No, but in one of the clips, or one of the videos, one of the interviews, he talks about this, and he says like, the whole thing about motivation that people get kind of wrong is like they think that they have to be training for something, or they have to be like studying for something. But really, like, that is a like say you're learning Spanish in class for a degree. Like, that is a purpose. For the degree is a purpose. But if you strip that away, would you still be learning Spanish? So what he says is like, you should be learning Spanish for yourself, because you and what you are doing is the whole purpose. For learning for a class is a purpose, but you yourself is the purpose.
I love it.
Of life, like literally of life. And so I almost like challenge you, because I know that you have, a lot of like, and like, I don't, like you have a lot of the like, I need to be like data, and I need to be like going for like a marathon or going for something. I could be wrong, but like I almost challenge you to think about it that way too. I don't know.
Yeah. When I think back in August when I decided to get back into running, there was a lot of that played into it. And at the core, it was I wanted to change who I was. I wasn't happy with who I was. I would look back on my life, and I definitely had this like sense of I hated who I was. I felt like for a long time I was like an 80%er, where like when I would want to present myself. So again, let's stick to running. When I was running in the past, and people would ask how it was going, you know, I would want to like maybe I was in the middle of like dealing with a nag or an injury. Like I would never want to convey that. I would want things to seem from the outside that things were going perfect.
Sure.
So I think I almost like lived in like some half truths for a lot of my life, and I hated that. I hate that about myself looking back, things like that.
I love that.
And so when I started running back in August, there was a lot of things I just wanted to change about myself, you know, like even, you know, through COVID, I found myself like drinking more than I wanted to, and for a second, I thought that might be hard to like to change or to fix, right? Like a lot of people deal with substance abuse and it can be super challenging.
Right.
But man, when I started running, that was the easiest thing in the world. Easiest thing in the world to stop drinking. Like, wow.
Because like you wake up the next morning and you're like, I got to go on this run, but I feel like shit.
Yeah. So why would I do that?
Why am I continuing to do that? Yeah.
So there was a lot that I wanted to fix about myself. I was definitely David Goggins was one of those factors. There's a few other big influences that I have that I was looking at them and I was like, dude, these guys are like the definition of consistency. Like I want to one day, I want someone to open up a goddamn Webster dictionary and they're going to look up discipline or consistency. And somewhere in there, they're going to see Tyyy. Like I want to be with those elites, man. Like I want that. And I've always wanted that, but I've always, I've never achieved it. But maybe like in my mind, I like wanted to convince myself I was close, but in reality, I was miles away.
Let's go here. Let's go here for a second. So why did you choose running as a motivator for consistency?
The recent from August when I started it.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
I think the mental clarity that comes naturally with any physical fitness endeavor. I think there's a lot of mental clarity that comes. There's so many health and benefits in that realm. I think it's just also just been a big part of my life in the past.
Okay.
You know, I did step away from it for a while when I was getting more into strength training in like the CrossFit realm.
Sure.
But it was a huge part of my life in the past, and so I think it was just easy to kind of pick that. And also, I remember thinking, because when I choose to do it again in August, I chose the Ogden Marathon because I in my mind it was kind of like a revenge tour. Like there's so many times that I had bad races for the Ogden Marathon, and I always justified that it was because of the time of year. You're coming out of the winter; it's so hard to train for. And my training never went well, and so I never had a good race during Ogden. And so when I chose to sign up for a race, I was like, it was easy that I was going to go for a revenge tour and go back and do that race. And then sure enough, of course, here winter comes and it's time to train through winter. And here I am, 5 a.m., single digits. I'm out there running. You know, I got myself sick a few times, but I worked through that and I just kept trucking through. And that just built a whole new level of consistency and discipline that I never thought possible.
Did the marathon, did planning, or did like the revenge tour of like, I'm going to run this marathon, did that come first? Or did you start running and then you're like, oh, I'm going to fucking do this marathon?
I had started running first. It probably wasn't many runs in. Like it was probably a week or two in that I easily went to like, oh, I should sign up for something. And then that quickly just like tenfold spiraled into like, yeah, let's go for the Ogden. Let's go back and prove that I'm going to be a different person in a few months.
Gotcha. Okay. And so how has that like, how has that really given you, because I kind of know you already. I know that you're already driven. I know that you're already disciplined. But
I think I've always wanted to be. But I think I've always wanted to be.
Okay, thanks for correcting me.
But I never lived it out. and maybe I would portray it to people.
Sure. Okay.
And to make them believe that I was, because maybe I was going through some of those motions, and from an outside perspective, you could believe that, oh yeah, he probably is.
Okay.
But I feel like there were so many things in my life I didn't see through, that I didn't see a completion, a check mark, because I wasn't living the true, consistent discipline, step by step, day to day that I should have been.
Yeah.
I think I was just so focused on making sure that it was perceived that way. And the easiest way to do that is just fucking do the actions, right? But because of maybe a nag would happen for running or whatever it was,
sure.
Then it just came into like, well, how can it be perceived, or what is it being perceived as? And
so you'd have a moment of like, okay, I'm having a setback, and instead of like, how do I push through it in the best way possible, it became like, how do I show the outside world that I'm still going strong and that it still is fine.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There was definitely no sense of like humbling myself, maybe reaching out for support and help.
Interesting. Yeah.
Another example that kind of fits into this that I've vocalized a few times recently was, I remember in high school, I feel like I was just such a piece of shit because I was on the cross country and track team, but I ran my first marathon at 15. So I'm entering high school. I'm on these teams, and I remember there was runners that were definitely better than me, like hands down. They were better than me in those events. And I would self-justify that, oh, well, I don't do these events. These are kind of like, 1 mile and 2 mile for track, or the 5K for cross country are short in my mind because I run 26 miles. And so I would use that as this like justification of that's why I'm not the best on the team, is because this isn't really my sport. Like I do this outside thing and I'm kind of here using this as a little bit of training and just kind of prancing around.
Yeah.
But yeah, just not like, I don't know, man. I hate that part about me looking back. I really do. Yeah. And I'm trying to get past that mindset and trying to be more in a mindset of like, dude, you've grown a lot. You've come a long way. And not be in this like, I hate myself. So I should really stop using that vocabulary. But that's the feeling
of like when you look back at yourself. Yeah. It's just like cringy, like upset, like anger.
I could have used those opportunities to again humble myself, to use healthy competition. I would have grown so much. But instead, I just would justify to myself and to others that, no, you have your own thing going on. You're doing more training because the miles they're putting in for cross country and track, they're not even enough miles to do for your marathon.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah. Well, that's part of obviously the growth and the maturity.
Yeah,
is
definitely.
Like, how do you see that now? How do you take that moving forward into your life now, and how do you take those moments and learn from them so that you can become, the literal image of discipline in the dictionary. And it seems like we're on the right path. It seems like you're on the right path. It seems like we're kind of shifting into that direction for sure. But there's still a lot to learn.
Lots to learn.
That's.
So I think some of the other things when it comes to discipline and consistency that I don't think necessarily have like an event that are signed up for. I do have some like goals for why I'm learning Spanish and why I'm learning piano. So those I'm going to push aside because those are a little bit different than the marathon, but it still probably has a purpose other than like you were expressing my purpose.
Yeah, sure.
For consistency and discipline, that there is no like end date, end event that are paying off tenfold for me is joining the 5 a.m. club and taking cold showers. Those two things have been huge for me.
Okay, talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the 5 a.m. club, it's a book. Robin Sharma, I believe is how you pronounce the name. Great book. You think of a self-help book and it is what it is. But this was more like a story. And I remember reading it and having some aha moments. And then I remember trying and failing and trying and failing. And I finally got to the point that somewhere I'd read that you should really just like plug your phone in or your alarm in another room. And so I did that. And that was what flipped the switch for me. And because I would get out of bed to go turn my alarm off, And I'd be like, fuck, dude, I'm up. Like, let's just try it. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'd do some push-ups, do some air squats, get some blood flow going. And I started seeing benefits super, super quick. And so that was easy to start adopting.
Like what kind of benefits?
The productivity. Again, I was waking up at 5, so I would just immediately kind of start getting warm, and I was getting my workouts in immediately. And then because I was starting to get back into fitness, I started feeling more natural energy. And I remember telling myself, like, well, Ty, you can't just go run your body to the ground. You know, you can use some of that energy to help with more recovery work and things like that. But I still just felt like I got so much energy pent up that I was like, I got to harness this and do something with it. And so that's when, like, I started putting that into, like, learning Spanish and getting back into music and learning the piano and brushing up on my chops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that was huge, man. That was huge. And now the cold showers.
Yeah.
That's been the next development.
Talk to me about that.
It was definitely like a transition for me. I started just kind of getting into the shower with, like, some lukewarm water, easing in and then turning it cold. Finally getting to the point of just turning it cold and getting in. And I can feel that shock of awakening that I love. Almost crave it sometimes, especially when it hits my back. You know, I'll turn the water on and let it hit my body, my face, and that's fine. But for some reason, when I turn around and let that hit my spine, it wakes you up, man. I love it. You feel alive. And I know chemically they talk about the chemicals that are released and the benefits of that. I'm a believer, for sure.
Okay. So you've taken up 5 a.m. wake ups and cold showers for the sense of bettering yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. For bettering myself.
Okay.
Well said.
Okay. Yeah, the cold showers, dude.
You've been doing that for a while, right?
I've been doing, dude, for like probably at least, I'm going on probably somewhere between 12 and 18 months at this point. But I started it out of necessity because it was so fucking hot in Dallas that it was like, I have to take a cold shower. I cannot take a hot shower. And I have a friend in Dallas who would tell me that he's like, dude, I served in Kuwait at 120 degrees and I would still take hot showers. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, bro? Like, how? Like, how can you do that? But yeah, the cold showers, for me, it literally, I can't eat. I have 2 nozzles. I think I was telling you this. I have 2 nozzles. One's hot and one's cold. I don't even touch the hot one anymore. It's just straight. It's a straight cold shower the whole time. So you'll get to that point. I don't know. Like, it hasn't. I mean, I have a lot of benefits from it, but I don't know. Like it. I feel like I need, like, colder at this point. I don't know. I feel like I need some more than that, but I don't know. Like, what does it do chemically? You said it does something chemically. Do you know? Like, off the top of your head?
Have you ever looked into Wim Hof? Yeah, so
love Wim Hof.
So I don't even want to try to explain.
Bro.
Nice. Yeah, I don't even want to try to dive into it because I'll butcher it. But as the other person I really look into is Nick Bear. Is an athlete, hybrid athlete that I really like following, and he has recently got, like, a sauna for his house as well. And so he really is a believer in the shocking your system, making sure you have exposure to both ends of the spectrum. And I really do think it helps, generally speaking, with, like, your own body's ability to self-regulate. I growing up, like, loved taking baths, especially being a runner. I loved Epsom salt and would love soaking in a hot bath. And so cold showers was really hard for me. And I remember doing ice baths here and there growing up as I was running. Did one last weekend and it was great. It was amazing.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah, dude, I loved it.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, it feels nice. Yeah, it feels nice. So I'm glad you're in that. I'll have to start joining the 5 a.m. club. I gotta switch my work schedule up though, because I can't work till 9 p.m. and then do some I can't
Parenting.
do that. Yes, parenting and like household chores and night dives and yada yada yada, and stay up till midnight and then wake up at 5.
Yep.
But yeah, let me see. So I wrote down some stuff. Let me see if we've touched everything I've like kind of wanted to dissect with you. Yeah, I mean, like the whole purpose thing, I wanted to like dive into that with you. It feels like we did. And you actually you hit some things that I didn't know about you, really. Like the whole outward projection of like like this is, dude. Let's talk about that real quick for a second. I want to dive more into that because I feel like we skimmed it. But you talked about like you would hit a nag or hit an injury, and then you would like just tell people, yeah, everything's fine. It's all good. I'm doing great. Where do you think that like kind of came from? Because that feels that's definitely an insecurity, but like
definitely
but like
is.
what, like a fear of failure? What do you kind of
yeah
think?
oh
What do you kinda
absolutely,
think?
man. Definitely always this fear of being perceived as a failure for sure. And I think a lot of it too was like I was dealing with that within myself of knowing I was falling short, and I had to deal with that like internally on my own. And so there's no way at the time I felt like I could comprehend also knowing that other people are seeing that.
So was there like, there had to have been like ego of
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
okay, of like I can't like let this get out. I can't ask for help.
And I think
can't.
even like more than just in the physical realm, like as an athlete, I remember in high school, I did a 2-year college program. And so even like on an academic standpoint, or, there were certain things that I did in my life that were fairly cool and maybe did separate myself slightly from other people. And so I think by having that, I
like
felt
what?
like I
Hang on.
needed that. Say again?
Like what?
So I remember like going through school, being on like the youth council,
Okay.
right? And in the youth council, I became the mayor. So right, or
Okay.
being in leadership roles, I was on. I remember doing like even going back to like 6th grade, I was on like the student body, right?
Okay.
And so just always kind of being in that top realm of like,
Sure.
oh yeah, in those. I remember being in this like 5th, 6th split class. They had this weird number of kids in the school. So there was one teacher who was going to teach half of 5th grader, half in 6th, and we would be in the same classroom. And so she got to hand pick what kids she wanted in there so that they could be really good students for both those grades and that she would be able to manage and being in that group. So even going back to elementary, 6th grade, feeling like, oh yeah, I was selected as one of the top students. And so in life feeling like I needed to live up to that. And I remember being at times, like in the college program, that I knew like I was not on the same level as these people, but I was in the classes. So I needed to make sure I was perceived to be, because I should be, but I knew I wasn't. I wasn't putting in the same amount of work. I remember how many college books that we were reading in our English class specifically that I did not read. Like I didn't even read them, and to fake it, to use Spark Notes, those kind of things, and just knowing internally that I was falling short. But again, feeling like there's an expectation about me that I have to live up to that.
Man.
And that's just like that whole like 80% kind of thing. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of doing it, and sure, like I passed the classes, but I didn't put in the effort I should have that other people were putting in.
Oh man. That is.
I've actually never really thought about that until
that is
now, like
interesting.
vocalizing that.
Yes.
It is.
Especially like going all the way back to elementary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost an outside societal thing in a sense of like, I'm doing the things I'm doing, and society is telling me that I'm in the top.
Sure. There it is.
Like,
And so now I have to live up to that.
Now I have to be here.
But I'm not disciplined enough and I'm not consistent enough to really maintain that. So now I got to fake it.
And that's been like carried literally since 6th grade at least.
Yeah. Dude, here's another example for you. Going back to elementary.
Yeah.
Do you remember you went to Clinton Elementary?
I did.
Remember at the end of the school year, we always had a race.
Yes. Like
right? Like the first graders would race and then the second graders would race, right? I remember like in that race, like getting like, it was like what, maybe like 100 yards or something like that, just across the schoolyard.
Yep.
Like I remember getting like 3/4 the way through one of those races and knowing that I wasn't going to win and like but like faking that like I twisted my ankle.
Oh.
Yeah. Like that's a core memory I remember.
Wild. Man.
Hate myself for that, dude. Hate that shit.
Dude. The growth,
Stupid.
though. The growth,
though.
Yeah. Like, you can't, especially as a kid, like looking back as a kid, you have to forgive yourself for that. Like, you're a kid. Like, we all do stupid shit like that. We're going to continue to do stupid shit like that. So yeah, you got to forgive yourself on that. But yeah, dude, that's interesting. That's just like a deep realm of,
dude.
Like you felt like you've had to live at like a high level, but you're not like there
or not living it.
Yeah, like you have to be there because outside society is saying like this is where you're at, but like internally you're just like, I don't know. I guess I am there. I guess, but like I don't feel that. I don't sense that. That's yeah. But now, look where you're at. Look where you're at. You're literally running every single fucking day.
Getting it in.
Every single day. You are living the Michael Phelps dream that I am trying to get to.
Putting the miles in, brother.
Yeah.
Putting the miles in.
Yeah.
And loving every second of it.
Discipline, you're definitely getting there. And a lot of good. Let's quick one more thing that I do want to talk about, and it's discipline itself, because I'm trying to figure that out, what that means for you, and then we can talk about like what we're doing in the future, and then we can kind of end the stream. But like, you said you wanted to be the thing of discipline. What does that mean? Just like being there every day? Like I
think it's like at a very internal core thing. And let's go back to like the 5 a.m. and the cold showers.
Sure.
No one will ever see that. No one will ever see that.
Yeah.
And sure, how easy it would be to like to slip back into a mindset of like faking it or like telling people, oh yeah, this is what I do, right? But no, to be fucking doing it every day. When no one's looking.
You just completed the loop in my brain. You just completed it. That's perfect. Okay, so like instead of being
have the Strava, right? Like you have Strava, like you could document it and people might see it. But I think it's those other things, those like little habits.
Well, it's instead of continuing to be the kid that twists their ankle when they're not going to finish the whatever, instead of being the dude that's like, I know I belong in the top, I know I belong at Boston, but I'm just gonna like do the bare minimum to get there. Instead of being that, you're being, and discipline itself is more about being like, I am trying to operate at the highest level of what I can physically do, and I'm gonna do that every single day for myself, right? Am I right?
Yeah, because I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to check myself, and that honesty with yourself that you're doing those things. And like, again, like you can document your runs on Strava and do this and that, but ultimately, whether anyone's looking or not, by you stack those wins, just like we talked about in the very beginning, you win the day, you win the week.
I feel
It's
a vibration going up and down my spine.
I love it, man. I love it.
It's just that yeah, dude. I feel it, man.
Just in another place, man. I feel like I'm in such a different place.
Yeah, than you were before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, brother. Wow. I feel like I feel like I can take a real deep breath. No, that was cool. Tell me, I know that you're doing the ultra, and I'm going to be joining you for the last leg of that ultra.
Love it. Can't wait. Gonna see me at the lowest, baby.
And I'm going to be vibing up until probably mile 10. I don't know. I'm joking.
No way. By then you're gonna be in.
I know. I'm gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be chump change
but
for
tell
you.
me, okay, so, you were talking about how you started running in August, and this ultra is in August.
Yeah, the timing's crazy. Didn't really comprehend that until just the other day when we were talking on the phone. Yeah, love the timing of it.
That it's essentially your like 1 year.
Yeah, I think my first run was August 7th, and this race is August 5th. So yeah, pretty dang close.
It's like your year like running rebirth.
Yeah,
if you will. Okay, so that's what you're doing. Are you doing anything else? You just kind of focusing on that?
So after that, yeah, that's the thing right now. After that, then we'll get ready for Boston. But
of course,
yeah,
of course, you're in it, brother. You're in it.
We're in it.
You're in it. All right, man. Anything you want to leave for anyone who may see this in the future?
You know, I just think be true to yourself. Look at yourself deep and hard in the mirror, because it's hard to do. Face that ugly side.
Yeah.
And I think at the least, like, talk to yourself. I think there's something about vocalizing. I know some people like to write, and if they write it out, you know, you hear the concept like you're angry with someone and you need to type them a nasty email, but you never hit send.
Sure.
And how therapeutic that can be.
Sure.
Yeah, I think if anyone's ever trying to like make a change in their life, you have to start with yourself and like to look really deep and hard in that mirror.
Yeah.
And figure out what it is that you need to change and what you want to do.
And vocalize it.
And vocalize it, man. If you could find an accountability person too, there's a lot of power in that. But at the same time, you got to do it for you, and you gotta be there to hold yourself accountable as well. But like I said, for myself, you know, call it a crutch, call it what you will. It's helped me flip that switch and at least get started. And so, you know, maybe one day that accountability partner, or maybe YouTube blows up or some shit and we can't do these, I would feel very comfortable at this point in my life that I don't need it. But it really helped me get going. And so I'm grateful for that. And
Nice.
So if you need that accountability partner, you know, jump in our comments. Let us know. We'll help talk you through.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear what people are doing. You know, we
Yeah.
say that all the time, and I genuinely mean that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, brother. I love it, man. I love it. Well, cool. Yeah, this was another night dive, man. Really, on a personal level, yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome to see and hear.
It felt really good.
So
It felt really good. It's a lot of thoughts I've been having, but again, to vocalize them.
Yeah.
There's been some new things that were vocalized tonight that really helped, that will continue to help me process.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I appreciate you having me, man. Really
Beautiful, dude. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Thanks for being in on it. Cool. Well, yeah, another night dive. Yeah, we'll see you guys in the future. Keep looking at what we're doing. But adios, bienvenido. No. Adios.
Hasta
Hasta
luego.
mañana. Hasta luego. All right.